Today we will discuss antihistaminic agent. For the details and for watching these type of lectures in the future also, please do subscribe my channel Science and Vigyan. This is the structure of histamine. If you want to know about antihistamine in detail, first of all you should know what is a histamine receptor itself. This one is the structure of histamine. Right, we know that histamine is from histidine, that is amino acid. That's why earlier in the histidine there is a carboxylate group, and after that there is the removal of this carbonate group and histamine is formed. Fine. Next is histamine antagonist. The term antihistamine historically has referred to the drugs that antagonize the action of histamine at H1 receptor rather than H2 receptor. Or in other terms, we can say that the histamine antagonists, they particularly act on H1 receptor. Fine. The development of antihistamine drugs began more than 5 decades ago with the discovery that piperoxine was able to protect animals from the bronchial spasm induced by histamine. This finding was followed by the synthesis of a number of N-phenethylene with antihistaminic activity superior to piperoxine. Further, traditional structure activity studies in this series based largely on the principle of isosterism. If you want to know about isosterism, please do mention in comment box. I would like to describe that in detail also. And the function group modification. Now, what is the function group modification? We know that in SAR generally we have to change the function group or modify the function group with other one, right? That led to introduction in 1940 to 1970 of a variety of H1 antagonists that contain diaryl alkylamine framework. These H1 antagonists referred to now as the first generation or classical antihistamine. They are related structurally and they include a number of amino alkyl ether, ethylene diamine, piperazine, propylamines, phenothiazine and dibenzocycloheptanes, right? Next is mechanism of action and journal structure activity relationship. First of all, we should know what is the mechanism of action of antihistamine drugs, right? H1 antagonists, they may be defined as those drugs that competitively inhibit the action of histamine on tissue containing H1 receptor. It should be noted that some H1 antagonists also block histamine release. They are considerably greater than those required to produce significant histamine receptor block. Or we can say that if we increase the dose of antihistamine, they are used to block the histamine release. Otherwise, they are used to inhibit the action of histamine by acting on H1 receptor. Fine. The H1 antagonists do not block antibody production or antigen-antibody interaction. This is the general mechanism of action of H1 antagonists. Now we will do their classification. After when we know the classification, their mechanism, they mechanism of action of the different classes, this varies to each other. Fine. And next is the journal structure. This one is the journal structure of H1 antagonist. Fine. And the next is SAR of antihistaminic agent, right? This one is the journal structure. As we see, this is the journal structure. First, we know that what is the SAR. In the SAR, we generally do the substitution or we do the modification. If it is earlier it is methyl group, we generally replace the methyl with the ethyl. After that, we check the relationship of activity with respect to this structure. Fine. Now firstly we need to focus on the aryl moieties, where AR is aryl that includes phenyl, substituted phenyl and heteroaryl group such as 2-pyridyl. On the other hand, AR dash is a second aryl or aryl methyl group. This d-aryl substitution pattern is present in both the first and second generation antihistamine and is essential for significant H1 receptor affinity. Right? Furthermore, several assay studies suggest that 2-aryl moieties must be capable of adopting a non-coplanar conformation that is relative to each other for optimal interaction with the H1 receptor. The two aromatic system may be linked as in the tricyclic antihistamine. For example, like they mention that in some tricyclic antihistaminic, the two ring structure they are linked to each other. Fine. For example, phenothiazine. We know what is the structure of phenothiazine. It is a 3-ring system where nitrogen and the sulfur present. Right. Dibenzocycloheptene and heptene, etc. But again, there must be no non-coplanar for effective receptor interaction. Most H1 antagonists contain substituent in one of the aryl ring, usually that is a benzene, and these influence antihistamine potency as well as biodisposition. If you want to know the biodisposition in detail, please to mention in comment box, as discussed for individual classes of compound in the section that follows. Fine. Next we need to focus on nitrogen. We know that what is a nitrogen? This is a basic terminal amine function which in many of first generation or classical antihistamine, the terminal nitrogen atom is a simple dimethylamino moiety. We can say that in the first generation antihistaminic compound, this R is methyl. If it is methyl, this group would be dimethyl amino moiety. Fine. Next, however, the amine may also be part of heterocyclic structure such as that is represented by piperazine, some propylamine that is a pyrrolidines and piperidines, right? And some phenothiazine, the dibenzocycloheptene as we already mentioned, and this moiety is also the part of the second generation antihistamine. In all the cases, amino moiety is basic with pKs ranging from 8.5 to 10 and thus presumed to be protonated when bound on the receptor. It is hypothesized that whenever these kind of compound come in contact with the receptor, they obtained protonated or they carry protonated ion. Next we need to focus on X. X is a connecting atom of oxygen, carbon or nitrogen. The X connecting moiety of typical H1 antagonist may be saturated carbon oxygen moiety or simply a carbon or nitrogen atom. This group along with the carbon chain appears that we can easily see as mentioned above to serve primarily as a spacer group for the key pharmacophoric moieties, right? Or we can say that we know that this group is present here, so it can be served as a spacer, right? Many of antihistamines containing a carbon atom in the connecting moiety are chiral. Now, what is a chiral? Chiral is a moiety where carbon is attached to the 4 different groups and exhibits stereoselective receptor binding. For example, in the phenyramine series and carbinoxamine, this atom is chiral, and in vitro analysis indicate that those in H-omer with S configuration, they have a higher H1 receptor affinity. If you want to know the difference between the S and R configuration, please do mention in comment box. Fine. Next, the last group, that is a CH2 group. CH2N group represent a carbon chain which in typical H1 antagonist consists of 2 or 3 atoms. The CH2N group and connecting atom result in a distance between the central point of diaryl ring system and the terminal nitrogen atom in the extended conformation of antihistamine, that is ranging from 5 to 6 angstrom, or we can say that it is also served as a spacer group. Fine. A similar distance between these key moieties is also observed for those antihistamine which carry less conformation freedom. If you want to know like difference between the conformation and configuration, that would also this is an important one. If you want to know for that in detail, please to mention. In some series, branching of carbon chain results in reduction of antihistamine. However, these are exceptions as evidenced by promethazine, which has a greater activity than its non-branched counterpart. Right? Like earlier we mentioned that branching is lead to reduced activity, but it is contradicted by the compound promethazine, which has a greater activity as compared to their non-branch counterpart. Fine. This is a summarization or the recapitulation of the SAR of the antihistamine. The nature of connecting moiety and the structure nature of aryl moiety have been used to classify antihistamine, that is indicated in the section that follows, or we do the classification of antihistamine in detail further. Furthermore, variations in the diaryl group, X connecting moieties, and the nature of substitution in the alkyl side chain or terminal nitrogen among the various drugs accounts for differences observed in antagonist potency as well as pharmacological biodisposition and adverse reaction profile. Fine. This is all about the SAR of antihistaminic. And last one is a therapeutic uses. Therapeutic uses. First, H1 blocker or H1 antagonist, they are used in dermatosis, then allergic rhinitis, motion sickness and emesis, and Parkinson disease. If you want to know this kind of disease in detail, please do mention in comment box. And it is also used in EPS, insomnia, etc. This is all about SAR and their therapeutic uses. Right? Thank you. Thank you so much. This is all about the SAR of H1 antagonist. If you really like to watch these type of videos in the future also, please do mention. Please do like and share this video as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy learning.